In this video, I'll show you how to convert foreign fuel prices or any prices and quantities to quantities that make sense in your home country. And throughout this video, for the first part, we're going to go from a home country to a foreign country, and then in the second part of the video we're going to go from foreign to home amount. This is an H for home. Okay. For example, let's get started from the US. In the US, in terms of dollars, say gas costs $3.20 for every gallon. And I wrote it up in a fraction format purposefully. We're going to use it as is, and to convert it to a foreign amount, we want to see what does this equal to in terms of, say, Canadian dollars, and as they relate to 1 liter of gas. To do this, it's fairly straightforward. We're going to work with the numerator on its own, and we're going to work with the denominator on its own. And this will somewhat resemble equivalent fractions. The concept of equivalent fractions from middle school, where you had, for example, 1/2, 1/2. One of its equivalent fractions is 2/4. Half a dollar is the same as 2 quarters in your pocket. Those are not the same things, but those are equivalent fractions. Half a pizza is not the same as 2 quarter pizzas, but they are equivalent. So, 1 gallon in the US, since we started with the US, a US gallon is 3.78 liters, and that's just a metric conversion factor. There's no math involved. It is what it is. You have to look it up. If we started with, say, British pounds up top over a gallon of gas, petrol, my bad, then a gallon of British petrol is 4.5 liters. It's different, okay? So, but the same principles apply. And let's go from we're gonna need a currency exchange rate here. Say one US dollar equals where are we going? We're going to Canada. 95 cents Canadian, and that's a number 1. Therefore, $3.2. That's a 3, just a little ugly. Sorry, 3.2 will be how many cents Canadian? And if 1 American dollar buys 95 Canadian cents, then 3.2 American dollars will buy 3.2 as many Canadian cents. So you have to multiply these two amounts together, and it's fairly straightforward to see that you have to multiply the price with the exchange rate in this case. When we do that, we get 3.2 times 0.95. $3.20 American will buy us $3.04 Canadian. So I'm going to write that one down here. There. So $3.20 American buys us 1 gallon of fuel, which is the same as $3.04 Canadian buying us 3.78 liters of gas. What we need to do is just do the division. Every fraction is a division. So now we have to divide the 3.04 by the 3.78, and what we get out of it is 0.80, and that is our next numerator, and it goes there. Here's the whole length of calculation. So $3.20 buying us a gallon is the same as 80 cents Canadian buying us a liter. These two are the equivalent fractions. And I do recommend that you work with the numerator on its own. Work with the denominator on its own, work with the numerator on its own, and get it done this way. What we did, how did we get again this 80 cent amount? If we just do the arithmetic, just the numbers, how did we get 0.8 starting with 3.2? We took the 3.2 and we times it by 0.95, and then it was divided by 3.78, and it was 0.8. Here, 3.2 times 0.95 times, sorry, not times, divided by 3.78 equals 0.8. So if you want to make a formula out of this one, 3.2 was the price at home. How do I write it? Home price. Home price was multiplied by the exchange rate, and the product of this multiplication was divided by the, I don't know, the, how do we call it, volume conversion amount, and we got the foreign price. Oops, it doesn't fit the paper, or barely. We got the foreign price out of it over the foreign amount. Okay, so that's how we did it. Written up this way in a formula, it's not really meaningful. You kind of have to remember the steps, or work out the denominator, work out the numerator, do the division, and then you're in the clear. Here's another example. Say, let's get started in how about Canada? Let's go from Canada to Japan. And let's go bread. It's gonna work the same way. Let's buy bread. Bread in Canada is $1.39, and that's for a 1 pound loaf, 1 lb, a 1 pound loaf. And we're going to Japan, where these Japanese people are selling bread by the kilogram, and that's Japanese yen, and we want to convert this initial amount here into another equivalent fraction that works, so we can relate to the bread that's in front of us in a supermarket. For this, we need to convert that 1 pound into kilograms for the denominator. 1 pound is 0.454 kilograms. That's the conversion factor. You're gonna have to look it up. It is what it is. There's nothing else to do with it. But this is gonna be a new numerator. We have another currency exchange to do. Say $1 Canadian buys us I don't know, 79.1 Japanese yens, and if we are spending $1.39 Canadian for that pound of loaf of bread, how much is it gonna be in terms of Japanese yen? Again, the same thing happens. If $1 buys us 79 yens, then $1.39 is gonna buy us 1.39 times as many. So we have to multiply these two amounts together again, and that gives us 1.39 times 79.1 equals 109.9. Can I just write 110, please? Okay. Is equals 110 Japanese yens. And this is your new numerator. This is your numerator, this is your denominator. You have to do the division. So 110 divided by 0.454 divided by 0.454 equals 242. 242. And that 242 goes in there. So buying a loaf of bread for $1.39 that weighs a pound is the same as buying or having a piece of bread in front of you for 242 Japanese yens for every kilo. So, and in this process again, we did the same. We followed the same flow of numbers or arithmetics as we did in the previous gas conversion. We took the original price, the 1.39. It got multiplied by the conversion factor, and it got divided by the, in this case, not the volume conversion amount, it's the weight conversion amount. Okay, now we're going to do it backwards. We're going to look at a price tag in a foreign country. We're going to go from foreign to home. We're going to look at a price tag in a foreign country, wondering what's it going to be worth at home. Say we are in Canada and we're buying gas, and in Canada gas is $1.37 for every liter of gas. Okay, this is gasoline, and we want to know how much it is in terms of American dollars expressed in US gallons. By and large, the same principles apply. We're going to work with the numerator here separately. Sorry, denominator and the numerator separately. So if 3.78, just pretend that the 3.78 liters that make up the gallon, just pretend for now that it's 4. Okay? If 4 liters make up 1 gallon, then 1 liter is 1/4, a quarter of a gallon. Okay? Again, if 4 liters make up 1 gallon, then 1/4 of a liter, sorry, 1/4 of a gallon makes up 1 liter. So, but it's not exactly 4 liters that make up the gallon, therefore it's not 1/4, it's 1 3.78 of a liter, of a gallon that makes up a liter. Okay? We have the inverse of a number, and to do that, I just do the division. 1 over 3.78, and that's 0.26. So like I said, 1/4 is 0.25. It's a little more because it's not exactly 1 over 4. We have to convert now the currency again. Say $1 US buys us, what was it last time, 95 cents Canadian. And therefore, now watch it, because the unknown amount is now here. Previously it was here, now it's here. So how much money do we need to fork out to buy us $1.37 Canadian loonies? And to do this, you have these two amounts here. You're going to have to do this time a division here between those two amounts. How do I write this division? I'm going to write it here. Okay, and division, not this number divided by this number, but this number divided by this number. Okay, because it's important that division be done properly. So it has to be 1.37 divided by 0.95. And then we get out of that 1.37 divided by 0.95 is 1.44 US dollars. Okay, so to buy 1.37 Canadian dollars, you gotta fork out $1.44 US. And again, this is gonna be our new numerator. So 1.44 has to be divided by that number, 0.26. I'm just going to leave this one on the display. 1.44 divided by 0.26 equals 5.54 US dollars for a gallon. That's why you don't want to go and buy gas in Canada. The math just doesn't work out really well. But the prices are what they are. Now, again, how did we get 5.54 starting with 1.37? What exactly happened here? Well, the 1.37 was divided by 0.95 and we made a subtotal out of it, which was further divided by that fraction there, 1 over 3.78, and we had a subtotal out of that. The subtotal of this was 1.44 and the subtotal of this was 0.26, and that's how we got $5.54 US. There really is no formula for, again, for doing this kind of equivalent fractions. You're just going to have to work through it. Make your numerator, make your denominator, do the division at the end, and that's going to give you your final answer. I don't even want to try to create a formula out of this, but you can see original price, exchange rate, and the inverse of volume conversion amount. You can make your own formula out of it if you like formulas. Let's do another one with say you are looking at in a foreign country something that costs €5. I don't know, a bunch of flowers, or okay, flowers are not sold by the kilo. Okay, let's go with bread again. Okay, or salumi or prosciutto or whatever you like. €5, and the bread costs €5, and it's 1 kilogram of bread. Okay, and we want to know what it is worth in terms of US dollars expressed in pounds. How do we do this? We do it the same way. 1 kilogram is how many pounds? Well, we know that 1 pound is about half a kilo. Therefore, 1 kilo will have about 2 pounds in it. We do the same thing as we did with the gallons and liters. 1 divided by 0.454. I'm going to write that one down. This is the inverse of the previous number. So you don't have to memorize that number, 2.2 something something. If you don't like memorizing numbers for no particular reason, this is going to be our denominator again in a big bracket, or we can make a subtotal out of it. It's 2.2, and that's our denominator. Let's make a numerator. €5. Let's see, what's the exchange rate? I don't know. $1 buys us about, let's go with 0.76 euros. Therefore, how many dollars do we need to fork out to buy us €5? We have the same situation as we had it above there. We have these amounts, and we have to do a division, and we have to divide the 5 by the 0.76 and not the other way around. when we divide 5 by 0.76, what we get out of it is $6.57 US. So to buy bread, that's 5 euros, we're gonna have to fork out $6.57 US, and that buys us 2.2 pounds of bread. To buy us only 1 pound of bread, we just have to do this division here. 6.57 divided by 2.2 equals, that's $2.98 for some super fancy, extremely expensive bread. Okay. Again, we followed the same steps as with the gas calculation here. We started with the, how did we end up with 2.98? We started with the 5. The 5 was divided, the original price was divided by the currency exchange rate, and it was divided yet again by the inverse of that mass or weight conversion amount. That's how we got the final price. So that's how we do these calculations. Once you memorize the process and practice it a little bit, it's going to be fairly straightforward. And no, you don't need foreign exchange calculator gizmo or any such device.